everybody, and welcome to Quillpen's Quips, Knitting, and More podcast. This is episode 9. I am Betsy, also known as Quillpen on Ravelry and Instagram. I am also Quillpen's Quips podcast on Instagram, and then on Ravelry we have the Quillpen's Quips, Knitting, and More group that you can join and participate in. And my blog is www.quillpensquips.com, and you will find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes there. And all this information will be at the very end of the podcast, the last picture slide that I add. So you can see it all there as well. So welcome. If you are a brand new viewer, thanks for joining me. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. I love hanging out with you guys, and I am a day late again this week. It was a busy weekend. It was my birthday. Happy birthday to me. My 2-year-old is still going around saying, happy birthday to mommy, which is great. It just extends the celebration. But my birthday was over the weekend, and then so we had some family in town that was here yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. I normally record on Mondays, but they were still in town, so we spent the morning with them, getting a last chance to hang out and visit, and then I was going to try to record in the afternoon during my kids' afternoon rest time, but the day just turned epically bad, and it didn't happen. I was barely even at home, so it didn't happen. So it's happening today. We went to the gym this morning. Well, it's election day. That's all I'm going to say about that. I voted. So we went and voted this morning. Schools are out. It's parent-teacher conferences today. So my husband didn't have to go in until later. He did have to go in for basketball practice this morning. But so he went and voted this morning and then came home, and then I went. And then we went to the gym. The boys and I went to the gym. And so now we're back and we're settling. They're in nap time. And I thought I would go ahead and record now while I had some time, and it feels like it's been a long time, but I think it's been the normal 2 weeks in between podcasts. But I have missed podcasting. I've missed you guys. So thanks for joining me, whether you're new or returning. And I think we're ready to get started. First up for Off My Needles is the beautiful Building Blocks shawl from the West Knits Mystery Knit Along 2016. So I made the large size, which means there's 9 sections. So the first section got repeated at the very end, which I felt like was a fun bookend. So that's why I decided to go ahead and do the large. But however, I ran out of both of I didn't have enough colors A and B to do the bind off, the I-cord bind off. So I picked color C. But I'm actually really happy with it. I think the white around the end just really kind of ties it all together. It's gigantic. It's super duper long. The edges look like this. And then it comes all the way over here. I'm sitting on the opposite side of my fireplace, and it's not even going to work. With daylight savings time, the sun is in a different place in my house than I'm used to at this hour, and I didn't really think about that, and I was like sitting in different areas of my house trying to find a good place to sit where the sun wasn't like right in my eyes or right behind me and causing too much of a shadow. But we'll stay here for now and we'll see. But anyways, and it comes all the way this way to the other end. It's super wearable. I love it. I think it looks good with a lot of my wardrobe. It's very comfortable. The Hedgehog skinny singles are nice and squishy and comfy, and I think it's still too hot to wear, especially today. I think it got back up into the 70s today, but I think soon for fall and winter, I'm gonna really love wearing this. So that was my big project that is officially off my needles. What is on my needles is our cow for our group. I went ahead and started it. We are doing the Painted Windows shawl by Casa Pinka. And I am using as my neutral base Mano del Uruguay Allegra in black. And the contrast is Stress Knits Impulse. The colorway is Impulse. It's one of a kind. And that is in her Sparkle Sock base. But, so, the little windows, it's all garter. The whole thing is garter. And then you hold double for the actual window part. And I think that my colors contrast well enough that I am really going to like how it's going to work out. And then I think when you're not holding double and you just have this colorway, it's really going to pop on the edge for the fun variegated lacy mesh edge. So I'm excited about that. So I got started. If you want to join in on this cowl with us, there is a thread for it on Ravelry, and you have to complete it to be eligible for the prize, but you do not have to even be making it to participate in the chatter on the thread. You can encourage and chat about colors or progress or whatever. So feel free to join us on the thread, whether you're making it or not. But if you want to make it, come join us. There's plenty of time. It runs starting November 1st, so you can cast on from November 1st or later. And we just have to finish by the end of January. So you've got 3 months to work on it. It's a very, very easy knit, or back and forth until the final edge. But it's going well. So that's that. I also have a design project on the needles that I can't show you because it's secret. So that's going okay. That's going pretty well too. That is all for what is on my needles. What's coming up soon is the Gilmore Girls Mystery Knit Along that Kristen Ashbaugh-Helmwerk, probably saying that wrong, I apologize. She's Marinade Designs on Ravelry. She designed a cowl for the Mystery Knit Along for the Gilmore Girls Year in the Life release on Netflix the day after Thanksgiving. And so it's a 4-part mystery, 4 clues that are released in 4 days. So Thanksgiving, Black Friday, then the Saturday and Sunday. 4 clues in 4 days to make a cowl. And she joined up with Knitted Wit for the yarn. So I think the yarn should be shipped the next week or so. And then it'll be all ready to cast on Thanksgiving. So that's coming. And then gift knitting. Aren't we all getting into that realm? I do have my list of gifts, and fortunately all of my gifts are quick knits, no more than a weekend knitting, probably just a day or two. And so probably what I tend to do as a monogamous knitter is if I have something like the Painted Windows cowl going, I will just put this on hold, start and finish a gift knitting, and then not pick this up again until afterwards. It's not so much about a rule and being strict. It's just I can't handle doing multiple projects at once. I just like to do one project at a time. So when the special genre of gift knitting comes into play, usually what I do is I just hibernate one project for a while, complete all of that, and then come back. And I've got plenty of time to come back to this, so I think it'll work out. And I don't have a ton of gift knitting / commission knitting. I have a couple people that have made requests of some things that I think I can get done before their holiday gift giving. So that's what's coming up. Gift knitting, Gilmore Girls cowl. And I think that's probably going to take me all the way through to Christmas, and then and the Painted Windows, and then we'll see what the new year brings. I learned something new this recently, within the last couple weeks, well, since the last podcast. Nanny Swemo, have you guys heard of this? Granted, I've only been a knitter for two and a half years, but never heard of NaNoWriMo. It's National Knit a Sweater Month. And it coincides with NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. And NaNoWriMo is a national event. I've known about that for years and years and years, especially working in a library. A lot of libraries team up, a lot of bookstores team up. Groups are set up all over the country to do NaNoWriMo, where you have to write a novel that's 50,000 words or more entirely in the month of November. Start November 1st, you have to finish November 30th. And so there's millions of people participating in NaNoWriMo. And then I learned that there is a knitting equivalent called NaNoWriMo, National Knit a Sweater Month, where your goal is to knit a sweater entirely in the month of November that is 50,000 stitches or more. There's a group on Ravelry for it. Check it out. It's pretty cool. I've been following the group just to kind of see what people are doing. And they are flying through their sweaters and making sure that it's going to be 50,000 stitches or more by the time they're done. And lots of awesome prizes up for grabs in the NaNoWriMo Ravelry group if you're participating. I did briefly entertain the idea of attempting to participate this year, but I care about my sweaters and I want to make sure that they fit. And I didn't want to have to not be able to try on while I'm pregnant, and I didn't want to make any maternity wear sweaters, and so I'm going to hold off. I'm going to observe this year, see how it all goes, and then next year I already have it mentally planned to save a sweater for NaNoWriMo, and I will attempt to do it next year. 50,000 stitches in a month to complete a sweater. Sounds super fun. So if you're interested, find that group on Ravelry and join in and cast on quickly because you're a week in already. But I had no idea. I'm very intrigued by it. Next year, definitely. I also learned this week a new phrase from Instagram that you guys might know, but it's something I just discovered, but now I'm going to start using. And it's called knitflixing. Hashtag knitflixing is how I came across it. I think it should be a term that's just coined for us, and it's the concept of turning on Netflix and knitting, and it seems to be connected specifically to when you're watching something that your significant other wouldn't, or that you don't watch with your significant other. Like it's your show on Netflix, you have time to yourself. You turn on your Netflix show and you grab your knitting, and that's called knitflixing, which is what I'm going to do when this podcast is finished recording. Do some knitflixing, I think, while the boys finish up their nap. But anyway, so those are my two new things I wanted to share with you. NaNoWriMo, hashtag knitflixing. I think these are things that you guys need to participate in with me. All right. I think that's all from my fiber section. No, I have acquisitions. It was my birthday. I don't have too many acquisitions. Some will still be coming. I think. Let's put it that way. That I got some birthday money that I think I'll be putting towards acquisition and stash enhancement, but I haven't yet. But I do have a couple of things. First of all, I got, and I did ask for, some Stitch dictionaries in book form. There are decent free resources on the internet for Stitch dictionary type things, but they're a little hard to navigate, and I have found them to be rather old-fashioned, old styles than what I have seen in some of these books that I browse at bookstores and such. So I got... This one was given to me as a gift, and I'm very excited about it. Some of the stuff in here is really, really cool, and just like flipping through, you get inspired. So, and then someone else was sort of de-stashing, and they picked this up for me, which is another Stitch dictionary. Again, some great options in here, and it's just... there's the type of stitch and the chart, and and all of that. And you go through and see what inspires you and maybe mix and match some things and throw together a design. So in light of this, my sock design that was originally going to be my birthday sock design is hibernating. It's taking some time off. When the deadline of my birthday when I realized I wasn't going to get it done for my birthday, I feel like that really freed me up to really look at it and say, I don't love this. It's fine, but it's not it. You know what I mean? So, and I want it to be it. I want to love it. So I'm going to take a little break from it, hibernate it a little while, browse some of these Stitch dictionaries, and come up with something that I really, really do love. Whether that means I'll be releasing a sock design in the next few months, or whether it means I'll save it for next birthday, I don't know. But I want to wait till it's something that I want my first sock design to be something really special. So, but I've already been newly inspired just by flipping through these books. So I think that's just the best way to go. Life is too short to work on a design that you don't love. That's just how it is. So that concludes my fiber section. So we can move on. Next is reading and watching. Reading, we finished Rebecca for the book club, and this month is The Little Prince by a French guy. His name will be in the show notes. And I finished it. It's a children's book, although I really do feel like it's a book for adults written for children, if that makes sense. There's so many statements in it about life and about choices and about adulthood that I think would go straight over a kid's head. So I really feel like it's a book for adults that's just written in younger language, perhaps. And I even got from the library the deluxe pop-up version. And it had pop-ups and lift the flaps and like sliding things. It was a very exciting read. I'm going to take the whole deluxe pop-up book to book club so I can show everybody so they can experience the book that I read. It was actually pretty fun. It's a very quick read, very short book. It was a lot of fun to do the pop-ups. I had to hide it from my kids. I couldn't read it around my kids because they would have loved the pop-up. And who knows what state it would have stayed in if I had let them be near it. But so that was a safely in my room at the end of the day before bed kind of read. So we did that. So that's actually going to come up here soon. And then next is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, which I've read many times, but it's one of those books you can read many times and still enjoy and still see new things come out of it. And I'm looking forward to reading it again and discussing it with this book club and getting their perspectives on it, because I know that some people in the group have never read it, and so that'll be fun. So that's next, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I'm still reading The Knitting Yarns by Anne Hood, the collection of short little stories from writers, famous writers writing about knitting, and that's been very interesting. It's a nice little quick, if I have a few minutes or if I'm in the waiting room or something, to just have short little segments to read that are self-contained has been a nice option. I also read The Girl in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, W-A-R-E, Ruth Ware, Girl in Cabin 10. It's very, it's along the same lines of Girl on the Train and tamer version of Gone Girl. You know, it's still kind of that suspensefulness, but not quite so much as Gone Girl. I just picked it up. I saw it at the bookstore, and it was on sale, and I had a coupon, and so I was like, oh, this looks kind of like up my alley. So I did enjoy it. It was an interesting read. It did not go where I thought it was going to go. I was surprised by the ending, which is unusual for me. So that was just a fun little novel to read in the middle of everything else. Then for watching, we finally caught up on Arrow. So we actually just started watching season 5, which is the season that's on right now. And so the whole team has disbanded. Basically, the point of season 5 is that the team has disbanded, and he's realizing he can't do it on his own, and so he's bringing together a new team. And Curtis is back he was in season 4, and now he's in season 5, and we really like Curtis's character. He is making it fun. I'm still hoping that Felicity and Oliver get back together. I think they're cute together. I like them as a couple. So we're officially caught up, which means that we can now catch up on some of the other ones we have been missing out on, like This Is Us and Blacklist and Pitch and all of those shows that we have on our list. We can start catching up, hopefully. This is officially basketball season. Tryouts were yesterday. Up till now, it's been open gym, but official tryouts were yesterday. Practice started today. So our evenings will look, our afternoons and evenings are going to look quite a bit different than they used to. But I think if we just cycle through, we can manage to get through everything and catch up on some of our favorite things. Although now I'm hearing great things about The Crown. The Crown or The Queen? The Crown. A lot of my friends are watching it and really enjoying it. So I might have to add that to the mix. Or maybe that can be one of mine. Maybe that can be a sort of Netflixing without Netflix. Maybe I can do that. We'll see. But I've heard good things about it. Have you guys watched it? I'd be interested to know what you think. If you've watched it, comment on the Ravelry group and tell me what you thought. And then my Netflixing is Gilmore Girls. I am now in season 3, I think. We are just about to transition from Dean to Jess, which I like a lot better. I am a fan of Jess. I won't say I'm fully Team Jess, certainly not fully Team Jess the early years, but I do like it a little better when he's around. So catching up on that. That's about it for watching. I think that's all. This is going to be a short episode, guys. And it's funny because one of my birthday presents from my husband was an external hard drive, because I've been having so much trouble podcasting because I just haven't had enough space. My computer's been running out of space. So we transferred a ton of things over to this external hard drive. So my computer is like free and empty and faster. And I have all the time in the world to podcast now. I'm not getting like reminders like 2 minutes left, stop. But there's just not a lot to share with you guys this week. I'm sorry. But that means we're ready to move on to sign language. Here we go. All right, so today's sign language is kind of just a conglomeration of various things that have come to my mind this week that I wrote down as a potential sign for you guys. So I think what I'm going to do is open a thread in the Ravelry group for signs that you guys want to know. And that will help me. I can maybe pick from some of those for the episodes, so that I'm making sure that I'm doing things that are relevant to you guys, not just necessarily relevant to the time of year or to me or whatever. But so this week is kind of a conglomeration, and then I'll open that thread and we can pull from that in the future. But we're going to start with happy birthday because it was my birthday and it's my birthday month. And really, we should keep the celebration going all month long. So the first line is happy. Happy. And you can do it one-handed. That's totally fine. Happy. You're holding something in the hand. Happy. Happy. Then birthday is a long story. Birthday is quite a regional sign. It will change depending on where you live. So there is birthday, which is sort of the overall universally understood in America birthday. I sign birthday. It's my middle finger, a bent middle finger from my chin to the top of my chest. Birthday. That's what I sign. I think I picked this up in college, and my college was in North Carolina. In my area, a lot, especially with some of the older generation, I see a lot of birthday. This represents kind of candles that you're blowing as they go out. Birthday. I've also seen birthday, again, blowing out the candles. California is famous for birthday. You pull on the ear. I think that comes from the tradition of you pull the ear of the birthday person, however many times old they are. So there's birthday. I don't see that a lot on the East Coast at all. But when I visited California, I have actually seen birthday. So I sign happy birthday. So we'll go with that. Happy birthday. Then today is election day. So I thought we should do vote. Everyone's saying go out and vote. Vote. So you're putting your ballot, so to speak, in the pot. You're casting your vote. It's an F hand shape into a O hand shape. Vote. And then, because it's a big deal in our life right now, we're doing basketball. I don't know if I've taught basketball before. So if I'm repeating, I apologize, but repetition is good. Basketball. It's like you're holding the ball, getting ready to shoot it. Basketball. My 2-year-old, fortunately, this year is able to understand that Daddy goes to work and Daddy goes to basketball. So he's not quite so... I'm able to communicate to him, no, Daddy's not home because he's at basketball practice. And he's like, oh, okay. Although he calls it ball shoot instead of basketball. But ball shoot, basketball, that's the sign. So we have happy birthday, vote, and basketball. Those are your signs for this week. Next time we might do some more Thanksgiving signs. Because I'll be podcasting the week of Thanksgiving, or throw your ideas into the thread and I'll pull some from there maybe and we'll go from there. So that concludes today's episode. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful 2 weeks until I record again. I hope you're having a wonderful November, and happy knitting. I'll see you next time.
Slip. Skip. It up. Wish knit. Knit. Slip one yarn over. Slip one yarn over. You yacht. I'm at the end of row 4 using color D. Slip with the yarn over. Slip the yarn over. Slip with the yarn over. Leave that yarn in back as you slip the last 3. And now we have both yarns hanging at the same side, which means I'm ready to turn around. Turn around. To knit the right side. The side. 5, right side. Then flips over to eat that little guy. Swim over to the shark. And the shark and its shark goes round. To the right needle. So just 8 stitches. I'll show that again for you.
There it goes again.
Continental knitters.
Okay.
This is my last slip one with the yarn over. You should be at 3 stitches before your marker. Slip the first stitch knitwise. Knit the next one. And then this fish eats. Pass it over. Swim to the shark. And the shark goes. And slipped my marker. So now I'll do the left slanting decrease. A decrease that involves 1, 2, 3 stitches with this big shark eating to the left.
Can we show more?
Knitwise.
Okay.
Both strands, the shark and its shark. Knit together. It really looks like knitting 3 strands together, but it's those 2 stitches, and then pass the shark over. And that's done. The stitch is on the left needle, ready to slip one with the yarn over. Knit, slip with the yarn over.
Slip the yarn over.
Slip one with the yarn over.